Hello guys, it's Crypto, long time no see, and last time I posted a tutorial video was 2 years ago, and I'm looking at the comments section and I see everybody spamming, where's the part 2, where's this, where's that. Unfortunately my channel is basically in the brink of death, and it's, yeah, I'm still trying to revive it. You may notice my voice changed a bit since 2 years ago, but I can tell my voice gone deeper. Right now, I planned to be back at that time and I'm gonna try my best to make a lot of tutorial videos for you guys so you can understand how to make this and you can see how I do in my own and you can implement it on your own. And here we are. You are watching a part 2 Blender tutorial on how to make animations. No renders, animations. Now there's a few steps you have to pay attention to. Is that if you are to animate a scene perhaps, like a showcase skin or something like this, where you have to pose a camera, move the camera or pose up the character or a skin, then you have to, every time with animation, you have to pose the character, move a couple of frames after, like for example in first frame, make the normal stand of a skin, and then in fifth frame, for example, you lift the character's arm up and like this, and you just repeat the same process all over again. It is a tedious process, and I've been animating on Blender for 4 years actually, and in my experiences this is a tedious process, but after the results you'll be very satisfied. But let's get started, shall we? Anyways, if you haven't known, I will link down below the Dragon FF Discord server where they provide bunch of add-ons and even help and support. I will also provide my modding Discord server, so if you need help from me, I will absolutely help you and provide some assistance for you. And I will provide a couple of links about the add-ons and all the stuff. But by the note, this is not for like commercial purposes, this is for the educational purposes. I usually do, most of my career I do it for educational purposes, for my career, but not little by the commercial purposes, but mostly I do my work for educational purposes. Let's get started, shall we? The first part, I will do this simple steps, but first step is to import your skin, any skin you want. So you hit up import and then DFF. Alright, as you can see, I have pulled a basic Ballas to DFF skin. Don't mind about the collection, I tried to look most of the skins and they failed to import the TXT. So as you can see, I have Ballas 2 skin here, and in the last part, like first part, if you remember, you click on the skeleton part. As you can see, these are the rigs. This is skeleton rig. Last time I didn't explain it properly. Right now I'm gonna explain it. What is this? This is basically a skeleton rig, which your model is parented by this. And with this skeleton rig, you can pose the character but like this. And even if it looks weird, you can edit the poses, the bones. This is called bones, by the fact. And you can just move the bones to make the look nice, but you just keep it original if you want, this. So we keep it original, and in here, in the green data properties, in the green skeleton rig, hit up viewport display and in front. So you can see this in front. So as you can see, I have everything set up here. We will focus on the animation. Actually no, camera comes first, then posing a character comes second, and then environment, lining, all this will come in the final step. First we will set up a camera. There you go, you have your camera, drag this slider here and make sure this is on 3D viewport. If you noticed, I make things very fast. But please make sure if you think I'm hurrying up, just pause the video at any moment, because I feel like you're gonna be needing a lot of like pauses in here. So here the same thing, flat viewport shading, and here you can actually tick this so you can see what this is, what you are seeing on this camera. If you click on here and hit up render, this is what you're gonna see exactly. So we're gonna focus on the lighting first, later, okay? Right now we're gonna pose up the character. I want the skin, the character, to aim a gun. So basically, with having a gun, you need to import a gun model. Alright, as you can see, I have a gun imported. Actually, it works perfectly when you import the FF files on Dragon FF, like the guns or cars. But with cars, having to import car models, you have to actually fix the materials on yourself and manually, because sometimes car doesn't like align the textures, they randomly get bugged out. And when you pull up the gun here, let's say here, right on the hand, you pose the gun up first, so it has to be perfectly aligned like this, how the character holds the gun basically. And then you hold shift, I'm telling you, hold shift and then click on the bone, not the skin, not the model, the skeleton rig. And then you go to pose mode and select, this is the hand that is going to control it, right? This is the fingers that only controls the fingers, and this is a forearm which controls the forearm basically. But we only need this gun to be parented as this bone, the right hand bone. So you click on the gun, again you exit out the pose mode, go back to object mode, you click on the gun, this, and you don't need to worry about going to pose mode because this is selected, right? So go back to object mode, control P and bone, you select bone. Don't select armature deform because it doesn't contain any vertex groups for the gun. Bone relative, maybe, but I usually pick bone. So as you can see, this works perfectly fine. So congratulations, you have a gun on his hand. You can add any objects you want, like a hammer, a bat, or baton, or an AK-47 perhaps, or RPG, or minigun. And you can just do the same process with this. Now we're gonna pose the character up, how we did in the last part, the first part of the tutorial video. So you click on here, auto keying, and then you go to pose mode and make sure this is whole character. So basically what this does is it just selects all the it adds all the keyframes in all the bones. These are all the bones, but we can tell this is like vertex groups, right? But it's linked with bones, which is this is right upper arm, so this is a keyframe for right upper arm. Anyways, just pose up the character if you want, like this. You can make it far away, but I'll speed up the process so I won't make things boring, okay? So yeah. Alright, so this is my pose. This is how it looks like, but only focus on the camera, okay? Animating the legs will be unnecessary because you only want to display the body part and the head. But if you want to actually make the camera look on the legs as well, then you will be needing to animate the legs, obviously, to make the animation look nice. After posing this up, now I want you to listen carefully, is after this posing, as you can see, make sure these all keyframes are aligned with this, okay? These are all added here. Now, these are the frames, as you can see, these are the frames. Right now the character does not do anything because we don't have any other keyframes added here. We only have the frame 1 keyframe. So we move the frame 10, for example. We can move to frame 10 and we can actually start posing him up again. Now this is why it gets tedious part. You always have to pose the character every time when you animate. So just watch me animate carefully and Just enjoy it. Alright, I feel like this is good. So this is how it looks like. Right now, it's just like this. This is the keyframe. We have two keyframes now. One is in frame 1 and another one is in frame 10. Alright, so right now we just keep doing this till we finish the animation. So I feel like I don't have anything more to add, just like the aim, precise, I don't know. Let me see what I can work on. Also, when to work on animation, you just press R to rotate or press R twice. But you can also use transform and always use local, because there's a difference between global. So global, for example, this bugs out like this, right? But if you're using local, you can actually like rotate it properly, right? So it's like oriented in this way, in this direction, I could say. So yeah, this is just a quick reminder of this. Alright, so I've finished the frame 20. So basically this is how it looks like, and you can also, you press G to change the positions in this keyframe. So we can make it fast and just basically just adjust this. After you finished adding keyframes, you can now change the final frame to 25, for example, because this is what the frame is gonna end basically. But you can make it 30, but this is how it looks like. You always preview it, you always make the preview, and this is how it looks like. But I will be setting it this to 25. Congratulations if you have followed throughout this video and you've successfully made it. This is very good. This means you can actually animate. So the next step is, after you have finished the animation, you can add a couple of adjustments with the animation. For example, when you press A in here in this timeline, or in the dope sheet, you press A to select all keyframes and then press V, the letter V, not W, a V. Then you can set keyframe handle type, which it can be vector. This is how it looks like, which is very bad for me. But if you're more of like a 2D animation, I think, then this is for you. But we want a realism animation on the characters, the way they move, the way they do this. I'd prefer automatic, and also I prefer auto clamped. Automatic makes this way buggier but nicer at this way. But if you fix the movements on automatic, then it will actually look better. But if you don't want to waste a lot of time, then you can just pick up auto clamped, which is also good. The main point on animating a character basically, is to feel the character. You have to, when he lifts his arms, you have to actually make him feel like he's lifting the arm, you know. And maybe you've seen a couple of like comparison videos where some of the animators, they record themselves punching air, for example, or grabbing an object. Then you can copy the movements through Blender by adding the video on this 3D viewport and copy all the movements, literally all the movements that the real life character, real life guy, human, is doing an action, for example. But this is another way. This is how I think. This is how I animate like this. And it gets very weird once you actually start animating. It's gonna be bad in the first time. Because as you can see, I've started animating 4 years ago. And I can tell my animation was so bad. I can literally provide you an animation preview I made from 4 years ago. And I can show you what my animation looks like now, you know. After we have finished with this animation, we can also animate the camera so it's more actionable. You can keep the camera as it is, but we will actually animate the camera for making it nicer. You just rotate like this, and you can rotate like this, doesn't matter. I always remember press R twice or R to rotate this. So yes, like this. I can also rotate this. So maybe I will delete this keyframe. And also this, while animating, you have to actually think, do you need to delete the keyframes? Do you want to add more keyframes to make it look better? This is the important part of animating in Blender. Now, if you want to fix the blurriness, as you can see, this has a weird blur when you play the video, as you can see. But if you untick viewport denoising, it should fix it. After this animation, you can tick ambient occlusion to make the scene look nice, screen space, reflections, motion blur. Motion blur, it will actually play the animation very nice. With the output settings, make sure this is AVGPEG, FMPG, where you can put this in MP4 or Matroska or OGT or whatever you want. But for me, I usually use AVGPEG because it is, I feel like this is a good format for me to use. So after this, we will add something in the background and lightning. So as you can see, this is literally what is gonna render as, and this is very boring. We need a lot of stuff in the background, right? I have good news. We can do this in two ways. We import the GTA San Andreas map in Blender, in our scene, which will make it nice. Or we can just put a random wallpaper in behind the Ballas guy and slap a lot of lights. But I want to go for the interesting part, and most of you wanted to, so let's import a GTA San Andreas map in here. So as you can see, you have the entire GTA San Andreas map. This is how it should look like. You just you press G and move the maps. It's gonna select, make sure it's all selected. The map parts all, it should be automatically selected all after you import it. So you press, go to you, this, whatever. So this is a mess in this picture, but this is how it should look like. And I will link this map part in the description below, or if I cannot link it, then make sure you check my modding server, Discord server, to download these map parts by yourself. Now we have two ways to import HDRI, basically a sky in the background. So I have this cool add-on that will make things very interesting. It's called Blender Kit, and this video is not sponsored, by the way, but this add-on is, I literally love this add-on so much. Basically, you just click on here, find HDR, and you type in sun, sky, for example, and it will select all of this. Morning sun, evening yellow sun, whatever you want. And you just drag it here, and this is our resolution. This is 8K, 4K, 2K, whatever. So we will keep 2K, for example. Look how beautiful this looks. But we are not finished yet. We will make it very beautiful. What can we do now is go in this view, and for example, logically speaking, the sun is somewhere there, right? So we add a sun lining, and it will be pointing at here, for example. As for me, I use Eve render engine, but cycles will look very nice. But if you have a powerful computer, I would suggest you, if you have powerful computer, but you mainly focus on animation, I would say you could pick cycles. But if you're not satisfied with the render, you can of course pick Eve. But I mainly use Eve for all my animations. So yes, then you can this. For example, you can see effectively. You can change all this. So after done the beautiful feature, we need to add the depth of field. This is the important part. So with depth of field, this will make it beautiful. Also, I forgot to mention the first part is you always go into solid viewport. Just hold Z and go to solid, right? And then click here to the slider and then tick depth of field. And this will actually show you what the camera is focusing on. So just decrease this focus distance until you will get the result on the character. So as you can see, this is what it should look like, and this is what it should look like in the render. Bam. There's a cool feature in Blender which you can actually animate focus distance here. For example, you want the character to be focused on here, but then a character gonna focus on here, right? And then this is how it should look like. This looks nice, isn't it? So yeah, we have our animation here. Congratulations. After you're finished with all this work, you can finally render. But I will tell, after you are finished and you're satisfied with the animation, you can finally render this. And of course, just render with AVGPEG in 100% quality with resolution this. Frame rate, you can pick whatever frame rate you want. So as you can see, if you can move the camera, the viewport here like this, if you can view the render result here properly, that means it should be ready. So you can just close this out, and you can just view animation through here, or just watch the video on like the original file of the video. So this is how it looks like, and I am very satisfied with this animation, and I hope you guys are gonna be also satisfied with this product as well. So what are the points we've covered? We have covered how to pose up a character and add keyframes to the character, frame by frame. We know how to slap objects, guns, melee weapons, whatever you want, to the character's hand, for example, or in the head or anything like this. Third point, I actually animate the character so far, and the camera as well. Fourth part is importing a GTA San Andreas map part to the scene, and the fifth part is slapping a bunch of lights and depth of field and bunch of effects to this whole animation. Congratulations, you have made an animation, and I will provide links down below. If you need help, reach me out, or just reach me out from the Discord server that I own currently, or you can hit me up, or someone else, or someone professional or knowledgeable than me in the Dragon FF Discord server, and I will provide the map part as soon as I can. And I'm glad to help you guys, and I am very intrigued to see how you guys made this animation, how did you made it, and I am intrigued to see the results of yours. Thank you guys so much. I promise I will not be waiting a lot for 2 years. I will promise I will be making more and share my knowledge and experience to you guys, so you can also understand the basic points in animating and how to animate in GTA San Andreas for your gang, for example, or for like a trailer for your channel, or anything like that, anything you can do. And this is amazing, honestly, with Blender. If you want to support my channel, make sure you subscribe and share this tutorial video for those who actually want to learn animation as well, because my channel is dying, massively dying, and it's running low on views. And this is, I feel like making more tutorials will actually help you guys more and will grow my channel. And maybe in the future I might release my own Patreon for you guys to actually like support and donate me for my work, all that stuff, and I will be very grateful. But right now I am grateful to help you guys how to make animations. Now, thank you guys so much. I will try to make part 3 as soon as I can, and I'll see you guys later in a bit. Peace out.